Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to address this timely conference. I hope that our discussions will lead to recommendations on how to address key challenges to our economies and societies. First of all, let me stress one key point. In our role as the OECD chair, we have been focusing on an overarching priority to preserve the functions of the organization which faces the biggest existential threats in its history. Ever since Russia started its illegal and unprovoked war of aggression against Ukraine, we have realized that the world's legal framework and stability were at stake. The brutality of this war has drawn the world's attention to the grave violations of humanitarian law by the invading forces. Back in February, we asked ourselves the fundamental question as to what extent the credibility of international community would suffer if we ignored the grave violations of basic norms and standards. If Russia had its way and the world remained silent, the consequences would have been devastating, not only to Ukraine. The erosion of respect for international law has led in the past to unspeakable human suffering. Therefore, it was not long before we set a course for defending the world we believed in, by reaffirming the fundamental principles as articulated in the UN Charter and the Helsinki Final Act. Some, perhaps understandably, are questioning the value of this organization. However, I strongly believe that the OEC remains relevant and useful. Over the last few decades, the OEC has served as an important political framework of international law that the UN system preserves and protects. Moreover, the organization provides a unique platform, treating smaller and larger countries alike, all acting as equals, enabling them to sustain a common security architecture. Naturally, then, the political objective of preserving the organization and the moral imperative to defend the vulnerable victims of Russia's aggression aligned to become the driving force of the Polish chairmanship. We are proud of this stance and will continue to focus on what we believe is right. This is how we believe we can, together, ensure that the OECD principles and commitments remain relevant and applicable, regardless of circumstances. Ladies and gentlemen, the current crisis comes at exactly the time when we all had hoped for a joint effort to re-establish upward trajectories for our economies. 2 years of the pandemic have taken their toll on all of us. The full-scale war in Ukraine has exacerbated some negative trends in the world's economy and created new ones. The energy crisis is certainly one of the centers of attention. International actors have been discussing energy security for many years. In many instances, difficult but necessary steps have been taken. Poland and some of the countries in Central Europe have set good examples by diversifying their energy supplies. There is no doubt energy policy has a strong security component. We have learned the hard way that a responsible and effective energy policy cannot rely on one supplier. The monopolistic position of a single supplier creates the possibility to abuse that role and influence. Russia's privileged position has fueled neo-imperial and neo-colonial ambitions among the Russian elites. Today, Russia blackmails not only its immediate neighbors, but also other countries and importers in a wider geographical scope. The crisis that Russia is responsible for has had a ripple effect in Europe, in the OECD area, but also across the globe. It is driving up energy prices, hampering economic growth and fueling uncertainty. It is time to draw conclusions. With the changes to the global energy market, we need more initiatives and regional cooperation. We should act in order to depoliticize this sector and ensure safe and reliable energy supplies. The OECD, with its commitments to energy security, has a crucial role to play in this process. Partners in key regions of the Eastern Mediterranean, Black Sea, and South Caucasus are increasingly successful in promoting new forms of cooperation. Connectivity in Central Europe, through its flagship project of the Three Seas Initiative, is also gaining momentum. New projects like the Baltic Pipe, LNG terminals on the Baltic and Adriatic Seas, numerous gas interconnectors give us new strategic options. I encourage you to focus in your analysis on how to accelerate cross-regional cooperation on energy, taking into account the difficult balance between security, economic, and environmental goals. As we are approaching the autumn meeting of the OECD Parliamentary Assembly in Warsaw in November and the OECD Ministerial Council in Łódź in December, I'm sure that your discussions will encourage a larger debate on how to confront these key challenges. Let me wish you thoughtful, thought-provoking, and vigorous discussions. Thank you.